Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Campbell's Coins. Continuing the beginner stacker series on this channel, I've had a lot of people message me about where they can buy precious metals and the best place to do so. Some didn't even know it was legal to own bullion. It's quite legal to own. In this episode, I'm going to go over the best places you can buy precious metals, the pros and cons of each, the precautions that you should take, and more coming up. I have a few things to say before we get into this discussion. First, it is imperative to do your own research. Educate yourself on what you want to buy, the going rates, the quality, etc. There are plenty of sellers who overprice their products. There are plenty of people who don't know what they are selling and try to pass their product off as something it is not. There are plenty of people who buy fakes and try to resell it either on purpose or on accident. Educate yourself to know the differences on everything. I know it's a lot, but there are numerous YouTube channels, including my own, aimed at educating folks on coins, silver, gold, and other precious metals. Those resources are there and they are free. I highly recommend using them. As for my list, we are starting off with the most reliable and going towards the least reliable. Also, just because I'm listing something first doesn't mean it's the best for you. You have to determine what will work best out of these options based on your budget and other things that will come up. I'll go over those in just a second. Believe it or not, you can buy precious metals online. There are a great many precious metals retailers. Some of the dealers that I personally recommend are APMEX, JM Bullion, SD Bullion, Monument Metals, and Golden State Mint. Now, just by rattling off those 5 names, I might have lost a few viewers. Let me get into why, and maybe you'll come back around. As with anything, there are some pros and cons. Pros to buying from most online dealers is a certain peace of mind knowing the metal or coin that you're buying is authentic and it is what they say it is. Another pro is selection. Some retailers like APMEX have just about everything you can think of. One of the biggest pros to an online precious metals dealer is convenience. It's nice to order online and have it shipped to your house a couple days later. However, with this convenience comes some downsides, and one of the biggest cons when purchasing online is the cost. These retailers will not be the cheapest option. I have found APMEX to be the most expensive in just about every single thing. JM Bullion, SD Bullion, Monument Metals, and Golden State Mint will not have the selection that APMEX has, but they are also a lot cheaper for the same product. In addition to price, some have ridiculous terms and agreements. JM Bullion has canceled orders on people because the price has drastically risen the day after an order was placed. Not a practice I condone, but I haven't heard it to be too widespread. Others can have extended wait times like we are dealing with right now. There is a really high silver demand and these retailers are stretched to their max. Some have 3+ weeks lead time on in-stock product after payment clears before they're even shipping a product. I mentioned in my February unboxing video how I ordered before all the hype and demand hit, but JM Bullion still held on to my order 5 days after payment cleared. Earlier I mentioned one of the pros to buying from most online dealers is peace of mind. I say most because I have heard some horror stories from some about one dealer. I won't mention them for legal reasons, but let's just say they are not one of the 5 I've mentioned in this video. Personally, I've not purchased from this retailer, but I've heard from a few sources that they sold fake secondhand generic silver. Either it was sterling silver or not silver at all. This is because they were not testing the metal at all when they bought it from customers. So when they sold it to customers, many didn't get 3/9 fine silver rounds. Some got sterling silver, which is 92.5% silver, or some got fake rounds. Another con to purchasing precious metals online is theft, either from someone within the post office, UPS, FedEx, or a porch pirate. This doesn't happen too often as these companies ship discreetly and often package the product up very well. This is why I've recommended people get a PO box. But with most people working from home during the pandemic, package theft from the porch isn't as rampant because people are always checking their mail or checking the front, or they can see what's going on. Not to say that doesn't happen, but you get my point. While I have given JM Bullion for some of their business practices, my silver purchase was shipped very secure and discreetly. Additionally, most online retailers offer free shipping on orders above a specific amount. Most of these used to have a $100 limit before they ship for free, but over the last year it's been increased to $200, sometimes even $300 depending upon the dealer. Out of the thousands of dollars I've spent with each of these online retailers, there was one time my silver wasn't shipped the greatest, and that was due to the weight. It still arrived in one piece, but it was sloshing around in the box. They padded the box so one couldn't really hear anything, but those items could have easily broken through the box if enough centrifugal force was applied. Even with all these cons that I have mentioned, I still recommend online retailers. One of the best places to buy precious metals is your local coin shop, also known as an LCS. Sometimes this is a pawn shop. You can buy in person and take your product home in hand or see if they will ship it to you. A good LCS will have fair prices and test all the metal they buy off the street. This isn't to say all LCSs are like this, but the good ones are. If you are a repeat customer, they are more willing to give you a better deal if you sell to them, buy from them, trade with them, versus someone who just shops with them once a year. Lots of pros when dealing with a quality LCS. Authentic product, decent prices, it helps your local economy, it builds a relationship. Oftentimes these individuals are very knowledgeable with dozens of years of experience within one tiny shop. There are very few cons when buying from an LCS, and I will say that this is shop specific because some shops don't have decent prices and some might try to take advantage of you when selling back your precious metals. This is most definitely not the majority of LCSs out there, and it is very few and far between. Another con might be based on your geographical location. Where I live, I don't have a good LCS for 20 to 30 miles in any direction. It's a minor inconvenience to drive to a place. I hesitate even listing this as a con, as most people have to drive quite a ways to their LCS, but strictly speaking convenience, it can be inconvenient. One of my favorite LCSs is in Stockton, California, and it's called Avenue Coin. You guys should check them out on Instagram. It's about an hour each way for me, depending on traffic, but they often ship to me, as you might have seen in one of my unboxing videos. If you find a coin shop near you and you've built a relationship with them, they may ship to you. So keep that in mind. You will have to pay for the shipping, but that's really a small amount compared to whatever you're getting. Shipping is extra, but for $8, a well-wrapped priority flat rate box beats the gas used driving there. A third place to buy precious metals is on social media through Instagram, Facebook, etc. While I have gotten a lot of good deals buying precious metals on Instagram, it does take a bit of an expert to navigate the purchasing side of things in many aspects. For starters, knowing the good sellers. Being a good seller isn't just about prices, it's about selling authentic product at decent prices and shipping that product to you securely and discreet. If they are packaging up 10 ounces of silver, or let's say an ounce of gold, and they're putting in a bubble mailer, just a single bubble mailer, you do not want to purchase from that person. There are so many red flags right there. That is incredibly lazy shipping. Additionally, if they are putting Bob's Coins on the shipping label, that's a dead giveaway of what's inside and leaves the package open to theft. Some people do not ship well and put items you purchased at risk from theft. A good seller also solves any problems you may have in the transfer of precious metals to the buyer. I've had a seller not package up the box at all. It arrived with zero tape. This is a flat rate box, so all they did was they folded it up and then they just used the adhesive side and closed it. many of you know it's very easy to open up one of those boxes without ripping it open. You just have to use a little bit of prying and you can easily get inside. Whatever was in the box, whatever silver that I had purchased, if it even was put in the box, was pried out and stolen. When I called out the seller, he ghosted me. He completely ignored my DMs. He blocked me. And that is not a good seller. A good seller would never package that poorly to begin with, but they will also work with giving either a refund or a partial refund if they had some blame in the matter. A great seller I've purchased from shipped me a roll of American Silver Eagles. The box was taped up super well, but the lid of the roll of the ASEs popped off during shipment and all the BU coins fell out as it was traveling across the country, banging into one another within the box. If you shook the box, you could hear silver just crashing around inside, or just like a metal, you know? And when I got it, my heart sank because I'm like, oh no, that means like everything inside is just dinged up and scratched. And surprise, surprise, it was beat the hell up. The seller apologized for the problem and offered to take the Eagles back or refund me a portion of the order. I opted for the refund. But my point is, a good seller will work with you if there is any issue. I haven't purchased from any other social media site other than Instagram. There are a lot of drawbacks from buying on these platforms. Some people sell fakes, whether intentional or unintentional. If a seller walks away with your money, you don't have a lot of recourse since they are states away. Most of the time, people are paying with PayPal, friends, and family. So if you pay with goods and services, you might be able to get your money back. But a lot of people, and please don't be offended by this, but a lot of people are cheap and they don't want to pay the extra 3% to have that peace of mind. They would rather keep that 3% and risk it. If you've never purchased from somebody before, I don't think that's a good idea. This is why it's also great within a community on Instagram to get references. If you've never purchased from somebody, ask if they have any references, and that person should be able to provide you some. If they cannot, it doesn't matter what price they're selling it at. This is why so many people get scammed, because they fall for these, like, they're so focused on this, oh, I have to get gold for spot or silver for spot, realizing that the source that it's coming from is a huge red flag. And instead of just like taking a step back and looking at the situation going, you know what, $40 extra to buy from a really good seller, I should probably do that instead of risking it. So if you are unsure, always get references from people. Check with those references, see if they're any good, see how they ship the product. I want to say like probably half of my stack is from Instagram, and that's a lot. I have had some horrible issues, but I've also had some really good experiences, and most importantly, this community, it's something to belong to. I find it's a lot better than a lot of other communities out there. I mean, as odd as it is to say, you're becoming friends with people you've never met. And I think that's a better experience than buying off of a big bullion website like APMEX or JM Bullion. Yes, you're getting your metal, but it's just like a cold transaction. On Instagram, it's a little bit different. As I mentioned with the online retailers, there's always an inherent risk when it comes to shipping precious metals. A good seller will ship your product well. Some even use a third-party insurance that covers precious metals. For those who don't know, the post office has insurance. However, that insurance that the post office has does not cover precious metals. You guys need to look into the fine print. If someone is charging you insurance shipping through the post office, you're getting scammed out of money, because whatever insurance that they're buying, it will not cover precious metals. Of course, you can lie about the contents in the box, but that adds another layer to the problem. With all the cons that I have mentioned, I have found the prices on Instagram to be well below those on online dealers' websites, with selection that can rival APMEX. Almost. It's slightly less, obviously, because it's a very small community compared to APMEX, but there is such a variety out there that you can find just about anything you're looking for. I will often post in a story, hey, I'm looking for this, does anyone have one? And I'll get a few DMs saying, hey, I got this at this price, I got this at this price. And if I work with you before, I'll buy from you. But if I haven't, it's like, okay, I gotta check your references. Let's see what's going on here. Everything looks good. Let's buy it. Another pro, especially for me, is taxes. One of the reasons I found myself buying off Instagram to begin with are the insane taxes I have to pay in California. If I want to purchase precious metals in California, I have to purchase at least $1,500 worth at a time to avoid being taxed on it. This includes online dealers, eBay, and purchasing from my LCS. So if I have $800 left in my monthly budget and I want to throw it into precious metals, I have to wait another month or two to get over that $1,500 limit. I'd rather exchange that fiat for something of value, and this is why I like Instagram. An individual selling on Instagram does not impose tax on me. A lot of cons and a lot of pros to buying off social media. It basically comes down to how trusting you are and finding those good sellers who are checking the authenticity of the metals they sell, how they handle transit issues, and how they package everything up for shipping. I have a list of trusted sellers on Instagram. If you're interested in hearing that list, please reach out to me on Instagram and I'll be happy to point them out. I get a lot of DMs, so please bear with me if I don't respond for a couple days. They all have excellent followings, provide great communication, great prices, ship your order next business day, if not 2 business days later. And most importantly, they ship your product very well and protected. Before anyone says anything, none of them pay me or provide me a kickback to say any of this. They're just that good, and I feel I have to just talk about them in a positive light so that other people can go do business with them. eBay. What a contentious topic for a number of reasons. You can be scammed, sold fakes, or misled buying off of eBay. Check out these ads. So like this American Prospector, 1 ounce, 3/9 fine, value fine silver, bullion bar, US Union metal coin. None of that makes any sense. It says now right here, unbranded, but this looks like a Silvertown image. In fact, it has Silvertown down here, so it's not. Ships from China. If it's coming from China, that should be a dead giveaway to not buy it. And then if you look at the item description, brand new, contains 100% high quality. High quality what? Material, iron plated silver. Style, souvenir bar, rectangle, double sides, blah, blah, blah. So as you can see, coin weight, 28 grams. An ounce of pure silver weighs 31.1 grams. They're misleading in the title, but in the description they kind of give you what this crap is, and people are bidding on it because nobody is paying attention. Here's another frustrating one. The Cook Island coins that show like the Liberty. On the coin they put that it's a 1/10 of an ounce gold coin. They then refer to it as a 0.24 pure gold, which kind of like leads people to believe that it's a 24 karat gold, but because 24 karat gold is pure gold, but in reality it's 24% gold, not 99.9%, it's 0.24. So you're 0.24% of a 1/10 of an ounce. These are mixed with copper, and then they put that 1/10 of an ounce gold coin actually just is 0.24 ounces of gold, which is 1/41th of an ounce, much less than the 0.1 ounce. And then here we'll just see like the Cook Islands 1/10 of an ounce, even put it here, 0.24 pure gold. That's such misleading. And you find this stuff all over eBay, ton of stuff like this. You just have to be really careful. There are a few online dealers that I mentioned at the beginning of this video who sell on eBay, but their prices are higher than their websites, like APMEX. I think there's like Liberty Metals. I haven't purchased from them, but it's probably done to offset the enormous fees eBay has for sellers. These dealers are reputable and you won't have to worry about getting screwed over, but like I said, the prices can be a lot higher. If you're buying from a state that taxes you on precious metals, better make sure you're buying over that limit to not be taxed, because if you do, eBay will charge you tax and then shipping. Now I'm going to list some very shady and less desirable avenues for purchasing precious metals. Reddit, Craigslist, OfferUp, Letgo. You get what I'm going with on this. Just because I'm saying that they are less desirable, it doesn't mean you can't find real product or good deals. I'm just saying that it just is way, way more shady than what I've previously gone over. You should really know your stuff, and if you don't know, do your research before buying on these platforms. You should also own a precious metal verifier like a Sigma, and meet individuals in a very secure location to do your transaction. You don't want to be mugged. If someone's trying to like sell you ounces of gold at a time, you're going to be bringing a lot of cash. You don't want to be held up. Meet in the daylight, meet in a populated area, meet in a like a police parking lot. There are a lot of scammers out there, and many reside in these apps and on these websites, which is why I do not recommend using any of these. I've used Craigslist, I think, twice, and each time I'm just like, is this the time that I'm going to get got? What's going to happen here? And I mean, thankfully everything went well, and the people I dealt with were good, and it was a good deal, and then all that other stuff. But a lot of things come down to like peace of mind. If you don't have that peace of mind, it's kind of, you just don't want to have that nagging thought in the back of your head of what's going to happen to me, what's going on here over this small transaction. There are online auction houses which sell rare coins, but they do not sell bullion. This option is for a very niche group of people. It's very secure and discreet, but pricing can be quite high. Also, you can get a good deal because depending upon when someone has an auction up. I'm mentioning it because it's definitely an avenue for purchasing, but really for collecting only, not for stacking. If you're a bullion stacker, you won't want to use this option. This is my comprehensive list for where to buy precious metals. If you think I missed something, please let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far in the video, you guys and gals are my super stackers. I appreciate you. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.